And what's going to happen is now the entire public is going to see what happened.
I think I agree with Candace. I think Ryan got a little controlling and insecure.
To convince the public that the real problem in this lawsuit with Justin Baldoni is actually the fact that he's too positive.
Actress Blake Lively and her actor husband Ryan Reynolds want to keep their messages with seemingly their A-list friends out of the hands of the public.
Full access to what is discoverable between Blake Lively and other celebrities.
Today, we're diving deep into the latest developments involving Candace Owens and Hollywood power couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Tensions are rising in the ongoing court case against Justin Baldoni, and Candace Owens has something to say. Grab a seat, you won't want to miss this one. Recently, Candace Owens mocked Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds after they tried to push the narrative that the real issue with Justin Baldoni was his so-called toxic positivity. Candace didn't hold back, she fired back at the couple, calling it absurd to criticize someone simply for being positive.
We have learned using their former CIA agents, that they've hired them, to convince the public that the real problem in this lawsuit with Justin Baldoni is actually the fact that he's too positive. I gotta tell you, after learning this, reading the articles, reading the deep dive, I am in fact prepared to switch teams. And so I want to show you it. Maybe you're going to feel the exact same way. Check out this headline in the New York Post. This is a real headline. Justin Baldoni accused of toxic positivity by former employees amid Blake Lively lawsuit. And here's a direct quote. "It felt phony." Ooh. Oh, yeah. And that article is actually quoting from another article which was featured in the LA Times. They're the ones that did the real work, the CIA work, to get to the bottom of this very apparent flaw in Justin Baldoni's character. And I gotta agree, because when I watch his videos, I'm like, my cousin is way too positive. It's toxic, and I never thought that this could be a term that could be used to dissuade the public against somebody. And here's a quotation from that article. It reads, "But to some observers, his public gestures, such as filming himself giving clothing to a homeless man or asking employees to sign their emails with the phrase, 'so much love,' it felt performative, aimed at self-branding as much as bringing about genuine change." One employee says, off record, quote, "It was constant positivity all the time. I would say toxic positivity," end quote, said one former Wayfarer staffer. They continue, quote, "I'm always a little bit dubious of people who advertise themselves as disruptors of the status quo or quote unquote good people."
As we dig deeper into the drama, Candace shared key insights regarding the protective orders being requested in the case. While Justin's legal team is asking for a standard protective order, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are pushing for one with extra protection. This would prevent a significant amount of important information from becoming public.
The judge is willing to limit the case to a standard protective order for all the text messages and emails that are received during the course of subpoenas, which both sides have already agreed to, a standard protective order, or whether he will be issuing a rather extraordinary AEO, which stands for Attorney's Eyes Only Protection Order, which in many ways means that Judge Lehman would be removing himself as the judge of what the public should have access to, right? It would allow the respective attorneys to remove that power from the judge because they could just mark whatever they want AEO. Like, this is what is allowed to be seen by only the attorneys. And you can't even show Justin Baldoni, you can't show Blake Lively, and we can just mark whatever document we want to AEO. And I have been, I think rather accurately, referring to this as the Taylor Swift protective clause, right? Well, Judge Lehman, while he hasn't made a final decision just yet in this matter, has come out and accurately assessed exactly what this case is. He's calling it a war between PR firms.
One of the main text exchanges that Blake is desperate to keep hidden is with none other than Taylor Swift. This revelation adds another layer of mystery, suggesting Taylor is somehow involved in the situation. Blake and Ryan are also claiming that sensitive medical information could be exposed if the protective order isn't granted. However, it remains unclear what these medical issues are. The question is, how much of this is truly about privacy, and how much is about preventing scandalous information from coming to light?
So in today's dramatic courtroom showdown, and there's no cameras there, so we're doing our best to recap about what happened, lawyers squared off about whether or not private text messages from the A-list couple, Lively and Reynolds, should be shielded from public view. This is all amid fears that they could be leaked to the tabloids. And during the hearing, the couple's attorney, Meryl Gavrnsky, argued passionately for an extra layer of security to keep sensitive information under wraps. And this is all connected to a proposal for a protective order that Lively's team had filed back on February 20th. And this is the reason the parties met in court today. Now, protective orders, generally speaking, they do a bunch of things, but generally they govern the disclosure of certain information in the case. And so today in court, as well as in the proposal for the protective order, Lively's team was requesting a designation called Attorney's Eyes Only for certain materials, and this includes private text messages with other high-profile individuals, details about the couple's mental health, security measures they've taken during this ongoing feud. And Lively's attorneys are saying, look, we don't want anyone other than attorneys to have access to this information, hence the Attorney's Eyes Only designation, which I'm going to explain a little bit more in a bit. But it basically means that anything that falls under that designation can't be viewed by anyone other than the attorneys.
On the other side, Justin's attorney, Brian Fredman, has been vocal about the issue. He argues that granting such a protective order could set a dangerous precedent. According to him, it would create an unfair divide between ordinary people and high-profile celebrities. If we start giving special treatment to celebrities, what does that say about the fairness of the legal system? He questions.
And this is by Rolling Stones, Blake Lively wants to protect conversations with their famous friends amid Justin Baldoni lawsuit. Justin Baldoni's filings have already indicated that Taylor Swift was privy to some relevant events in the ongoing lawsuit between the actor, Lively, and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Now, if you listened live, you might have the same opinion I do, which is Blake Lively's lawyers didn't really make a strong point. Now, they're the ones arguing for the protective order. Justin Baldoni's side is saying, look, why don't we do it on a case-by-case basis? We don't care about your security detail or any of those specifics, but to say you want a protective order, what if there's information between those text messages which shows that Blake Lively was operating in a way that is, very damning? Now, I'll tell you what. If the judge denies Blake Lively's protective order request, and then Blake Lively ends up dismissing her case or wants to settle, that, my friends, would be very, very interesting, because that would mean somebody doesn't want whatever on those text messages to get out. In other news, Daily Mail also reporting Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds clash with Justin Baldoni again, as couple claim their profound medical issues are at risk of being leaked. Yeah, I know, but that's the deal, right? If you're going to claim that you were harassed and that you have all these mental health issues because of it, that stuff's going to come out in court, and I hate that for the instance where I hate that innocent people feel like they don't want to be dragged through court because of what might come of that. But at the same time, Justin Baldoni was dragged publicly.
According to Candace, Blake did not willingly come to court. She wanted Justin's reputation to take a hit without having to take any real action herself. But now that Justin is fighting back, she's scrambling.
However, Brian Friedman, the lead attorney for Justin Baldoni, who's also my lawyer and has not given me anything here at all, not once, but taken my money in the past, a lot of it. Brian Friedman, his lawyer, says that it is offensive that anyone would suggest that we would disregard a protective order. Friedman does not think an attorney's eyes only designation is necessary. Friedman argued that Lively and Reynolds' plan would unjustly treat celebrity people and people who are powerful in the industry different from other people.
Candace's take is sharp. She suggests that Blake never intended to go through the full legal process. Instead, the plan was simply to tarnish Justin's reputation. But once he stood his ground, things escalated quickly. And let's not forget Brian Fredman, the lawyer handling this case, isn't backing down.
Brian Friedman, the lawyer on this case, is not kidding.
I don't know what you heard about me.
Now he decided to flat out release the scene in question, basically the climax of Blake Lively's abuse lawsuit. Here is the first clip where you're going to hear them talking, both of them talking about their husbands. This is so weird. Take a listen. They win!
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
You just stare.
literally we've done it for like 5 minutes. it's like,
How is this allowed? Literally, I'm just asking the question, like, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived a rape? Because that's what it sounded like to the public. Blake Lively was such a brat that her and Ryan Reynolds specifically requested during the premiere that they so did not want him to attend his own movie. This should have been his biggest night, premiering this movie that him and his studio decided to purchase as a book and adopt it into a film. They made him and his family sit in the basement because she was just so uncomfortable around.
And here's another shocking twist. Candace claims that while Blake and Ryan are fighting to protect their privacy, Blake's team has secretly been leaking unreliable HR complaints behind the scenes to paint Justin Baldoni in a negative light. What do you think about all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this crazy saga. We'll keep you posted as more details emerge. Until next time.